Have you ever felt like your children aren't listening, or even worse, that they're being disrespectful? It's not uncommon to feel frustrated or upset in these moments. As parents, we want to maintain a healthy relationship with our children, but when faced with disrespect, it can be difficult to stay composed. You're definitely not alone in this struggle. In today's video, we're going to explore a transformative 6-step approach to handling these challenging situations. This method will help you turn moments of tension into opportunities for growth, understanding, and stronger communication. By the end of this video, you'll learn practical strategies to regain your calm, foster better communication, and ultimately create a more harmonious home environment. Stick around until the end for a comprehensive guide on how to handle these challenges effectively. Before we dive in, I'd be grateful if you could give this video a thumbs up. Your support helps me continue sharing valuable insights. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the bell so you never miss any updates. And if you enjoy the video, leave a comment with healthy life, or if you think there's room for improvement, comment unhealthy. I'd love to hear your feedback to help me create better content for you. Let's get started. The first step to handling your children's disrespect or disregard is to keep your emotions in check. It's normal, even expected, to feel a range of emotions: anger, hurt, frustration, when your children act out. After all, you're deeply invested in their well-being, and it's easy to take their behavior personally. But reacting emotionally in these moments is rarely the best approach. When we let our emotions guide our reactions, we often escalate the situation. It can lead to unnecessary conflict, misunderstandings, or worse, deepen the emotional gap between you and your child. To avoid this, it's important to take a moment before responding. Breathe deeply or step away for a brief moment to regain your composure. This pause gives you control over your emotional response, preventing knee-jerk reactions that could make things worse. Remaining calm not only helps you think more clearly, but it also shows your child that you're in control of your emotions. Over time, they may begin to understand that attempts to provoke you won't succeed. Your calm demeanor serves as a model of resilience, patience, and emotional maturity. It's a lesson they can carry with them, learning to handle their own emotions more thoughtfully. Being composed also allows for healthier communication. When we're upset, our judgment can be clouded, and we might say things we regret later. Reacting impulsively, shouting, or saying hurtful things can have lasting emotional effects on your child, causing them to shut down or rebel even further. Instead, responding with clarity and thoughtfulness opens up the space for more productive conversations and a chance to address the real issues at hand. It's important to note that maintaining your calm doesn't mean ignoring or suppressing your emotions. Acknowledge your feelings, whether it's anger, disappointment, or frustration, but don't let them dictate your actions. By learning to channel these emotions constructively, you can respond in a way that promotes understanding and growth rather than escalating the conflict. This process teaches not just you, but your children as well. They'll see that it's possible to experience negative emotions without letting them cause harm. When you remain composed, you're showing them the power of self-control and emotional maturity in difficult situations. This example becomes a powerful tool in shaping how they deal with challenges of their own. By responding calmly instead of impulsively, you're helping create a more respectful environment. Your child will feel safer knowing that their behavior doesn't rattle you and that you're open to listening and engaging in meaningful conversation. This can foster a deeper sense of trust and respect, not just between you and your child, but within the entire family. Now, let's move on to the second step: showing understanding without giving in. After you've calmed down, it's time to take a step back and assess the situation from a broader perspective. Before reacting with criticism or authority, try to understand what's really going on beneath the surface. Children often act out not because they want to cause trouble, but because they're dealing with deeper, unspoken emotions like fear, stress, or insecurity. By approaching the situation with empathy, you're demonstrating that you're willing to listen and understand the reasons behind their behavior. This doesn't mean you condone disrespect or tolerate unacceptable behavior. Instead, you're recognizing that there may be underlying issues driving their actions. When you show empathy, you're building a bridge of communication, creating an environment where your child feels heard and understood. But while empathy is crucial, it must be balanced with firmness. Understanding your child's emotions doesn't mean abandoning your authority. It's about creating a space where they can express themselves openly, knowing that their feelings will be validated, but that certain behaviors still have consequences. By showing empathy, you're positioning yourself as a supportive guide who helps your child navigate their emotions. This approach encourages open conversations where they feel comfortable sharing what they're really going through. Often, the behavior you see is just a symptom of something more complex, and by showing understanding, you can help them work through their feelings. This method encourages emotional growth, both for you and your child. When you address the root causes of behavior, you're not just fixing surface-level issues, but working towards long-term solutions that strengthen your relationship. It teaches your child that while their actions have consequences, their emotions are important and deserve attention. This helps them develop emotional regulation and problem-solving skills, paving the way for healthier interactions in the future. Finally, the third step is setting clear boundaries. While it's important to be empathetic and understanding, it's equally crucial to set firm, clear boundaries. Children need to know what behaviors are acceptable and what aren't. When setting limits, it's essential to remain calm and composed, clearly articulate what is and isn't appropriate, making sure they understand the consequences of their actions. By following these steps, you'll not only regain control in difficult moments, but also build a stronger, more respectful relationship with your child. Stay tuned for more strategies and continue your journey toward healthier family dynamics. Boundaries are essential for providing children with stability and a sense of security. They need a framework that clearly defines what is expected of them. Without such boundaries, children may become confused or anxious, unsure of what is acceptable, and might even act out as they search for limits. However, the key is finding balance. If boundaries are too rigid, children may feel stifled, while overly lenient boundaries could lead them to believe there are no real consequences for their behavior. Striking this balance is crucial. Boundaries should be firm yet flexible enough to allow children the freedom to explore, while still making sure they understand their actions will have consequences. Equally important is the way consequences are communicated. When a boundary is crossed, responding with calmness and consistency is essential. It teaches children that consequences are not about punishment, but are natural results of their choices. This teaches them valuable lessons about cause and effect. For example, if a child breaks a rule, calmly explaining that they will lose a privilege or face another form of discipline helps them connect their actions with outcomes. It also prevents any feelings of unfair treatment, which can arise when boundaries and consequences are enforced in an erratic or emotional manner. Consistent enforcement of boundaries doesn't just help children navigate their immediate environment, it also prepares them for the broader world. Outside of the home, society also operates on cause and effect. Actions lead to outcomes, whether they are rewards or repercussions. By learning this principle early on, children are better equipped to handle social interactions, school dynamics, and later, the workplace. Additionally, clear boundaries encourage the development of self-discipline and responsibility. When children understand what is expected of them and the consequences of their actions, they are more likely to regulate their own behavior. This ability to self-regulate will serve them throughout their lives, helping them make better decisions, resist temptations, and manage their impulses effectively. Boundaries also nurture a healthier parent-child relationship. While children may initially test these boundaries as part of their development, over time, they will come to appreciate the structure and guidance boundaries provide. This understanding fosters trust and mutual respect. When children recognize that boundaries are set out of care and the consequences are fair and reasonable, they are more likely to respect the rules and those who enforce them. This trust becomes the foundation for open communication and stronger emotional bonds between parents and children. Furthermore, setting the right example is critical. Children are keen observers and often learn more from watching their parents than from direct instruction. Studies consistently show that children absorb lessons more effectively through observation than through verbal guidance alone. This is why it's important for parents to model the behaviors and values they wish to instill in their children. If you want children to treat others with respect, you must consistently demonstrate respect in your interactions with them and others. Similarly, if you want them to listen attentively to your guidance, you must show a willingness to listen to their thoughts and feelings. Conflict is a part of every household, but how parents handle these moments teaches children valuable life lessons. Whether it's a disagreement with a partner, a tough situation at work, or a family crisis, children pay close attention to how adults react. If they see you remain calm, patient, and thoughtful in stressful moments, they learn that it is possible to navigate challenges without resorting to anger or frustration. Being a good example does not require perfection, but rather consistency and authenticity. Children are quick to spot discrepancies between what is said and done, so it's essential that your actions align with the values you teach. For instance, if you preach honesty but are caught lying, your credibility is undermined. But when they see you living out your principles, whether it's integrity, kindness, or responsibility, they develop deeper trust in you. This trust creates a safe space for communication and fosters a more open, respectful relationship. Listening is another vital skill that children learn from observing their parents. If you want them to value listening, make sure you actively listen when they speak. Show genuine interest in their lives by asking questions, engaging in their dreams, concerns, and struggles. This not only emphasizes the importance of listening, but also strengthens the emotional bond between you. Respect, too, is something that needs to be modeled. When disagreements arise, engage in respectful dialogue rather than raising your voice or dismissing their opinions. Acknowledge their point of view, even if you disagree, and express your own thoughts calmly. This teaches children that it's possible to have differing opinions without resorting to disrespectful behavior. The values you model extend beyond the home. They will shape how your children interact with others as they grow. The respect, empathy, and cooperation they observe will influence how they relate to peers, teachers, and later colleagues. Conversely, negative behaviors like anger or dishonesty can lead them to perceive such traits as acceptable, which could negatively affect their relationships as they grow older. Creating positive quality moments with your children is just as important as setting boundaries. It's essential to nurture a strong relationship that's rooted in positivity and security, outside of conflict situations. Setting aside time for undistracted interaction, whether through casual conversation, shared activities, or one-on-one outings, helps build a deeper connection. In these moments, listen actively and validate their emotions. This not only strengthens communication, but also reinforces empathy and mutual respect. When children feel heard, they are more likely to reciprocate respect in their interactions with you and others. These moments of connection are vital in creating a foundation of trust and affection, reducing the frequency and intensity of conflicts. Children who feel loved and valued are more likely to approach disagreements with a cooperative mindset rather than confrontation. Building these connections is an ongoing process, requiring consistent effort and adaptability as your children grow and their needs evolve. By nurturing these positive relationships, you're fostering emotional security and mutual respect that will continue to serve both you and your children as they mature. Building strong relationships with your children requires ongoing effort, patience, and understanding. One of the most vital components in this process is the commitment to nurturing connections. By continuing to find new ways to bond, Whether through shared activities or just being present in their lives, you create a solid foundation of trust and mutual respect. This consistent investment pays off in the long run, reinforcing your connection and making your relationship stronger over time. Once you've calmly addressed an issue with your child and set clear, firm boundaries, it's essential to give them space to reflect. This time of quiet reflection allows them to process everything that has been discussed without feeling pressured to respond or change right away. Often, children need time to absorb complex ideas like respect and accountability. If they are given the opportunity to think things through, they are more likely to internalize these lessons and make lasting changes. Remember, growth is not instant, especially when it comes to emotional maturity. When children are rushed or forced to respond quickly, they may become defensive or resistant. It's better to let them come to their own conclusions, as this encourages authentic self-reflection. Allowing them time to reflect without interference helps them develop a deeper understanding of their actions and how those actions affect others. It empowers them to think critically and learn from their experiences, creating a foundation for future decision-making. This process also helps your child practice self-assessment, which is a crucial skill for personal development. When they reflect on their behavior and recognize how it aligns with the values you want to instill, they start to develop a sense of ownership over their actions. This means they're not just following rules because they have to, but because they understand the deeper principles behind those rules. Self-awareness helps them navigate future situations with more insight, empathy, and responsibility. At times, you may notice your child struggling with their emotions during this reflective period, and that's perfectly normal. This internal struggle shows that they're starting to understand the complexities of their choices. By giving them space to grapple with these feelings, you're showing them that it's okay to take time to process emotions and learn from mistakes. This approach also shows that you trust their ability to grow and learn from their experiences. During this reflective time, you can help your child further explore their thoughts by asking open-ended questions. Encourage them to think about how their actions impacted others, or what they might have done differently. This helps them articulate their feelings and gain a deeper understanding of their behavior. It's not about pushing them to give a right answer, but about helping them come to realizations on their own. The ultimate goal is to foster a sense of self-awareness that goes beyond merely following rules. Self-awareness is much more powerful than any form of punishment, and it helps children make decisions based on empathy and respect for others. As a result, they will grow not only as individuals, but also as compassionate members of society. By providing your child with the opportunity to reflect on their behavior and encouraging open dialogue, you create a nurturing environment that promotes long-term growth. With patience and guidance, these lessons will take root over time, helping your child develop a stronger sense of moral integrity and respect for others. Now that we've covered the importance of reflection, let's dive into a few additional strategies to strengthen your bond with your child. First, it's important to know when to let go. Not every minor conflict requires your intervention. If you constantly react to small issues, it can create a tense atmosphere at home. Recognizing when to step back and let minor provocations go teaches your child that not every frustration needs to escalate into a conflict. This doesn't mean ignoring important issues, but rather understanding when it's better to allow natural development to take place. Letting go of small annoyances fosters a peaceful home environment and models emotional maturity for your child. Another key strategy for building respect is involving your children in family decisions. Often, children act out when they feel unheard or powerless. By including them in discussions that affect their lives, like planning vacations, setting family rules, or even deciding what's for dinner, you empower them to feel valued and responsible. This teaches them that respect is a two-way street, where their opinions matter, and they also have responsibilities as part of the family. This involvement nurtures problem-solving skills and a deeper appreciation for mutual respect. If you're still here and enjoying these tips, feel free to drop a "Let's Win" in the comments below. I really appreciate your attention and support. As a parent, it's also essential to recognize and celebrate progress. It's easy to focus on areas where your child needs improvement, but it's equally important to acknowledge their achievements, no matter how small. Whether it's a positive change in their attitude, a kind gesture, or how they handled a challenging situation, celebrating these moments boosts their self-esteem and motivates them to continue growing. A simple acknowledgement like, "I noticed how calm you stayed when your sister took your toy, that's real maturity," can go a long way. Don't forget to show vulnerability and admit when you've made mistakes. Parents often feel the need to be infallible, but admitting when you've overreacted or mishandled a situation sets a great example for your child. It shows them that growth is a lifelong process, and making mistakes is part of that process. Apologizing when necessary teaches humility and accountability, which are essential life skills. Finally, always maintain a long-term perspective. Building strong family relationships takes time, and real change doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of sustained effort and consistent practice. Every small victory, every moment of patience, and every lesson learned is contributing to a stronger, more meaningful relationship. So, don't get discouraged if progress feels slow. Every effort counts. By applying these strategies alongside the steps we've already discussed, you're well on your way to creating a more harmonious family dynamic. With patience, communication, and a deep commitment to mutual respect, you will see the profound impact of these efforts in the years to come. If you found these tips valuable, I encourage you to continue exploring our content and stay connected. Together, we can continue building better relationships and fostering personal growth. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.